Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Ask Engineer. As always, it's me, Lady Ada, and with me is Mr. Lady Ada, and we're broadcasting live from the Adafruit factory. And that factory is in downtown Manhattan. We have not moved. We're not some sort of TARDIS creature. We are here always.
And that's why the sirens are here, and they're coming to get us.
They're coming to get us. We're here in Soho. We love doing all this design and manufacture and electronics and engineering here at the factory. But right now we have an hour-long show for you.
We do.
And what's on that show?
I'm glad you asked. On tonight's show, guess what?
What?
The code is Doc Days. We're celebrating Documentation Days for Open Source Hardware Month. So the code is Doc Days, 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Show and tell. People around the world showing and sharing their projects. Lady Ada will go over them. Pack the mailbag, stop by. These are letters you send to us. We read them. Time travel. Back in the world of hackers, makers, artists, engineers, pioneers, and more. So made in NYC. We got some factory footage here. Always showing some cool stuff. Nimbus, the friendly cloud entity, is going to talk to you about some internet stuff. 3D printing. Raspberry Pi news. New product. We'll answer your questions. We got a top secret thing. Trivia question. All that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay, so let's pay some bills.
Totally.
So we can reward the skills of the people who work here. So the code is Doc Days. 10% off in Adafruit store. What isn't covered by a discount code, Lady Ada?
The only thing that is not covered is software, gift certificates, and wait, what was the third thing?
Gift certificates aren't included. Software and AdaBox.
And AdaBox, that's
On the
right.
subscription
Those are the
service.
three things that
Yeah.
are not included, but anything else you can get
Yep.
10% off. Wow.
Programming note, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time every Wednesday is Show and Tell. And 8 p.m. Ask an Engineer, that's what you're watching now. We're still doing the $200 or more UPS ground in continental USA. Same day delivery in Manhattan, depending on your zip code, on checkout before 11 a.m. And let's move on to the Show and Tell. So we had some Halloween stuff we're still doing. Pound Electronic Halloween, so, you know, the social media stuff picks it up. And we had some Halloween projects. We'll have some probably next week too, so come by next week if you want to show your Halloween stuff. But this weekend we had a menagerie, an assortment, a whole variety.
Yeah.
What was on the show?
Okay, well, we had a whole bunch of Adafruit peeps, as well as lots of visitors and some new people as well. Noah and Pedro kicked it off with a spooky project. They added a NeoPixel ring to their drone to make it look like it had like a UFO tractor beam, and then when you fly it, when it's foggy outside, you can kind of make people think a UFO is coming to get them.
Yeah.
So that's a project that we'll talk about that also.
I always wondered, with all these billions of camera phones, why isn't there more clear footage of UFOs? When we had crummy cameras, the UFOs were everywhere. Now, HD, amazing.
No Yetis.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. No
Little
Loch Ness. No nothing.
tragic.
Maybe they're phone shy.
It could be.
Yeah.
That could be. Are people too busy taking selfies to notice
Yeah, maybe.
the Yeti walking behind them?
Yeah.
Could be. So check out that Noah and Pedro project. We'll also be chatting about it tomorrow on 3D Hangouts every Thursday at 3 p.m. We'll also show off the video tonight, so stick around. Scott S., there's two Scotts today that were on the show and tell. Scott S., who's working on the MicroPython stuff with us. Check out his latest pull requests and pushes. Things are going crazy over in the MicroPython build, but he's taking a break to work on fixing his automatic blinds in his apartment. So they lost the remote for their automatic blinds. So he's building a Wi-Fi controlled blinds controller that uses a Feather and a Sleepy Bee processor from Timelapse that has 1 microamp touch wake, which is really cool.
He didn't lose a remote. He gained a project.
I know.
Yeah.
That's so true. And he's a Cap Touch, and he's like kind of building it into this Hammond enclosure. It's kind of a cool project. He's having fun building a custom thing and learning a little bit about Sleepy Bee as well, which I've never quite used before, but it sounds like a little radio that is also capacitive touch and low power. Tony D is promoting and telling people to check out his MicroPython Servo Feather Wing tutorial and video that he has done. He added support for the Servo Feather Wing, which is actually also the Servo Breakout, and also the Servo Shield. All uses the same PCA 9685 chip. He showed how to use it with MicroPython. So we're kind of slowly adding demos and tutorials for all of our most popular things, which are also feather wings and shields.
I try to think of analogies so people can know why some like new programming languages or even just like why coding could be fun. So if you're a little older, maybe you grew up with like a 10 and then GoTo and it was the logo thing.
Yeah.
So with MicroPython, one of the approaches we're having, you can do things in something called a REPL. It's basically like a terminal. And what's neat is with this project that Tony showed, that you can just type in something and the servo moves. So it's not just like saving like an Arduino sketch and then like transferring it and seeing what happens. It's actually typing live and a servo moves. Pretty cool.
Yeah, no, this is really neat. It's very a very interesting and new and different way to program than what maybe people who are used to microcontrollers where you compile and then run. This is like step-by-step programming.
Yeah.
Okay, and then JP also made a tutorial and project live today. It was the wand and sword project. So it's motion to light. So using the accelerometer on the circuit playground, which is what he used, it can detect when you swing or you move, and so it can have little sound effects and also change the lighting effect. So you have a wand where when you tap something, it sparkles, or a sword that when you swing it, it fades different colors.
We're going to show that video soon.
We'll show that video as well. So check out that tutorial if you want more details. And then we had a menagerie, as you said, of other people. Scott M had a Bastion from Overwatch costume that he's working on for his young assistant with an EL panel head and a scrolling display of LEDs and like an LED gun and like this like radio featherweight. It's just like this cool costume that I think he will be wearing every day, because if I had a costume like that, I would just wear it to the bodega, restaurants, train station, all the time. Cool costume. They're going to work on that, maybe show it off next week when they do some more on it. A fellow named Adam Baum, who I'm going to call Joe because I hope that's his middle name, has a Pi Girl that he built in Altoids tins. He doesn't have a 3D printer. So instead he built the guts of the Pi Girl into an Altoids tin, and then also made a little game controller out of a mini Altoids tin. But very cute little yellow game tin you can play games with. Super fun. And then Carter N is going to do a workshop with 5 Raspberry Pis, and was thinking of maybe having like, full Raspberry Pi B with like Ethernet and like keyboard and mouse, but then decided maybe to instead use a Pi Zero and use that USB to Ethernet. The tutorial that we did about how you can plug it in, it shows up as an Ethernet device, and you can SSH in, or even just connect to the web browser running on the Pi and then run Cloud9, and you can do Python programming again live right there with development in a REPL. Very interesting way to do very low cost development, but you have to be able to get a Pi Zero.
Getting back to terminal computing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, back to the logo, back to the basic. And then Richard is working on his armor costume. Thin clients. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I know. Seriously. We're going to TFTP it up.
Yep.
Richard built an armor costume that he's still working on, and he also is studying motion and gesture with accelerometer, so using a circuit playground and detecting motions. So when you do a circle motion, it charges up the circuit playground, and then it turns pink if you do enough circles. It's kind of an interesting problem, like how do you detect gestures? So check that out, very interesting. Hopefully he will write it up at some point. And then
like a Karate Kid
I know.
Electronic project with that.
Was it like the thing?
Well, no, he had to learn how to wax on and wax off.
And then wax off.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, okay.
It's all coming back.
All right. Wow, they really into the 80s today.
So is everyone else.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good nostalgia decade.
Yeah.
As it were. Okay. And then finally, C. Scott.
Yeah, he did Maker Charades Sword, but he showed us his Chrominius project.
A Kickstarter DIY panel for the Kickstarter project that he's shipping, and an in-progress panel, and also his young assistant is going as Sans, an Undertale character. I don't know Undertale, but let me call it a cartoon or game?
I think so.
Yeah, cool character.
Do some lighting.
And I'm going to add some LED lighting, and then next week he will show it off.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we had.
All right.
I mean, that's not all. It was so much more.
All participants on the show and tell get as seen on the show and tell sticker. We do this every single week, and we have people from around the world. It's way better than the punditry on TV with talking heads. These folks are showing their projects. Don't watch the news.
I know. For the next 14 days, just make stuff.
So this is part of the Adafruit Live series. Speaking of, you were so kind. You did a broadcast with Sophie from Hackaday.
Well,
my old job.
Sophie was so kind to show up here and let me do a
but
video
you assisted. You were the assistant.
I was just touring her through the glory
so,
of Wire.
It was an hour long, and it was all of the or not all of them. It was a lot of the projects that people are showing on Hackaday.io for their Raspberry Pi contest. So what we're trying to do is help anybody who wants to do electronic show and tell out there. So Sophie came here, she broadcasted from Adafruit, you were the co-host, and these are all the different projects. Lots of neat stuff. My favorite one was the
mycology.
The mycology one, that was really neat.
Yeah, that was cool. It was like an all-in-one growing mushrooms, but they also had glowing lights in them too. So
so we did that. Hackaday's 12 years old, and that was kind of nice too. My kid grew up and bought me some alcohol.
I know, we went out afterwards
it was on Hackaday.
Get Korean.
Yum.
Bibimbap.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Desk Tony D this week. There's 2 videos that he did, but I wanted to give a special shout out to the third one. So this week, MicroPython hardware. This is the servo driver. We talked about that. And then the SSD 1306 OLED display. So if you want to have an OLED display. And then getting the MicroPython stuff on the SAM-D21. I decided to do just a bunch of tinkering.
Yeah.
And this was a really good guide. So if you're ever thinking about doing something like this, it all works. It's all really good.
Yeah, we use Vagrant, and you can build the latest firmware.
VirtualBox and Vagrant.
And I'm starting to notice, at first we didn't even really announce that much. Like we said, hey, we're doing MicroPython. I'm starting to see people do pull requests and issues and bug fixes. So people in the community are starting to get involved in it, which is always a great sign.
Yeah, what's interesting is you might be able to start out knowing 0 computer coding at all whatsoever for playing around with stuff like this, and then for the folks who are really advanced, you might be able to do a ton of stuff because you're familiar with Vagrant and VirtualBox and making firmware builds, and it seems like there's something for everyone, which is kind of nice. So that is the videos from Tony D this week. Also, we had pseudo-random. Colin and Phil B of NeoPixel fame, Paint Your Dragon.
Oh, all sorts of fame, Pie Girl fame, and Cupcake fame.
Yeah, we broadcasted this on Monday, and this was Colin talking to Phil B about many of the projects that he's built. So from the Back to the Future replica, the HAL 9000 replica, so lots of props that you can build that normally you wouldn't expect to be able to, but for 3D printing and electronics, Picade, where that came from, and also the little mini one as well.
Yes.
So that was kind of neat. It was neat to see and hear Phil talk about his art and how much care he puts into it, and the types of things he thinks about with projects.
He's like a charming and creative and gracious person who really, it's funny. He always comes up with things
delightful.
That we would never think of, which is kind of the definition of creativity.
Yeah.
But
it's always delightful.
It's always something. Yeah, like today he's like, I'm going to make a little escape key for all the Mac users who don't.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't realize it was on there.
So as part of our Halloween stuff,
Yeah.
John Park did this last-minute sword and wand prop effects with Circuit Playground. Take it away.
It's like a ninja with his wand.
Yeah.
Cool.
How about a couple of quick ways to add some light and sound effects to your prop weapons? Yes, if you've run out of time to prepare your props for a cosplay outing or perhaps Halloween, this is the project for you. We're going to take a look at a foam sword and a magic wand and dressing them up with a circuit playground. Now this sword I got at a toy store and simply added a circuit playground and battery pack using some zip ties. When I turn it on, we get some lighting effects, and when I swing it, a different effect. And when I strike it, a third effect. Now these can also be applied to pretty much any prop. If, for example, you have a simple little cheap magic wand, you can add a circuit playground to it. For this one, I've used a little LiPo battery just to keep the weight down. Pretty magical. Now this is a wand that I've designed from scratch. It also has a circuit playground inside. And when I turn it on, we can still use the accelerometer from the circuit playground to trigger the effects. I'm John Park for Adafruit. I hope you enjoyed this, and please check out the guide for instructions on how to build your own.
Okay, so that's John Park's project. One thing I did notice, though, and I let him know, so I think he might be that guy from one of the Star Wars. I'm not quite sure.
Who's that?
That's Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, that's Anakin?
Yeah,
Okay.
anyways, that guy quit acting.
Okay.
Now he works at Adafruit now. Mailbag, pack in the mailbag. These are the letters that we read from you at our weekly all-company meeting called State of the Fruit. I also read them here. So this is from Max. Max says, my part just came yesterday, which was just in time, and I wanted to say a big thank you to everyone. Everything went fine. The hardware was quite awesome. I just want to let you know that you're doing a great job with your service. I know this isn't quite a normal inquiry, but customers these days just don't stop and think about companies from which they're buying stuff from. So I just wanted to say you are great because people tend to forget about the persons behind a company. Keep the good work. Best regards, Max. Thanks, Max.
Oh.
That's nice. Okay, time travel. In the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, and every week now it's just people that probably should have heard of, but it's just one of those things. I hope we're putting a dent in the lack of knowledge for some pioneers out there. So happy birthday, Margaret Inglis, American mechanical engineer, is born. Margaret Inglis was an American engineer. She is known for being the first female engineering graduate from the University of Kentucky, receiving her Bachelor's of Science degree in mechanical engineering in 1916. She was also the second woman engineering graduate in the U.S. and the first woman to receive a professional degree of mechanical engineering. Her work on air conditioning included developing the effective temperature scale to incorporate humidity and air movement in the equation for human comfort.
That's cool.
Have you ever heard of her?
No.
I don't.
But I also don't do HVAC.
Yeah, but I feel like there is a bunch of pioneers that, if you would have said, like, when did a woman get a engineering degree, mechanical engineering degree in the U.S., it'd be unclear the date. Who is it? Where? When?
Yeah.
But there's other achievements that are. So anyways, this is our goal. We post about this all the time. So that's kind of the pioneers. And then we have some other stuff, which maybe aren't as culturally important, but maybe they are for us. 2011, we started Cats of Engineering. So adafruit.com/cats of engineering. And we have hundreds of cats that are around electronics. And I'll just give you a parallel story.
Okay.
I remember when I started Hackaday, I was told by many people there's no way that there's enough electronic projects that you can post one every day. And that was 12 years ago, and there's hundreds every day. No one gets to all of them.
Yeah.
There's thousands of sites that post up all these projects. There's all the tutorial sites. 5 years ago when we started Cats of Engineering, I was like, there's only probably a couple of, just a few cats are going to be around electronics. No, it turns out cats do most of the electronics. So or most engineers have cats, or a combination of both. So anyways, there's lots of cats.
There's a lot of cats
I think
over
it breaks web browsers now because it's like a giant page where you just scroll.
You just keep adding a photo to the end.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever. These cats should learn how to code.
Can people submit their own cats?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
cool.
on the form.
Cool.
Yeah. Cats of Engineering.
Check that out.
So there you go. All right, next up. You remember that code I was talking about, Doc Days?
Yeah.
Well, the reason.
What was that all about?
Well, it's because it's Open Source Hardware Month, and this is part of OSHWA. Remember, we're a supporter, and we did a talk at Fat Cat Labs. So NYC has places we've never been. This is really cool. We have a factory, and we used to have a laser cutter in our bedroom, so we didn't really go to hacker spaces, and we had a reflow oven and also in a bedroom. So we live different lives. But my point is that there's lots of places like this, and it was neat. It was in a building, and there's like a cat thing, and there's weekly classes for Arduino and more. And we did a talk about why we did learn.adafruit.com and kind of the documentation vibe of the month and how to do things. So special shout out to the Open Source Hardware Association, and of course Michael Weinberg, who put that together. I had a couple photos. Here's Fat Lab. They have like 3D printers and laser cutters. Here's you and Michael Weinberg. And one of the things that we got, we didn't make it to the Open Source Hardware Summit, but we got a bag because we showed up at this
Goodie bag.
Yeah, we got a goodie bag.
You want this goodie bag?
Well, just show a couple. What was in there that you thought was interesting?
Okay, sure. I'll go check it out. Hold on. Making some space.
Yeah.
Making some space. Okay, so we have this thing. So this is some sort of limited edition electronic business card from Screaming Circuits. And I guess, well, that's kind of cool. There's some sort of like thing. Maybe I'll put it together.
Yeah.
Put this in here. And then put that in there. And then turn it on. That's kind of cool. So it has some LEDs. Oh, that's cool. It has like an accelerometer and it can detect motion. So it's kind of cool. Turn that back off. Thank you. Cool business card. And probably open source hardware as well. So that's kind of cool. You can build your own. Let's see what else we have in here. We've got some HandyBot stickers. We've got Hackaday has some Tindy stickers and some Hackaday I/O, and then a lollipop.
That's cool.
Okay.
Startup project build a team.
So we got a lollipop sticker. We've got. So this is one of those like flippy. No, what is this? Look inside. So this is. It's like impossible, but this is like a micro, like a SD card, but you have to figure out how to remove it. I don't know. Unremovable.
I'm going to point out something. I think,
Yeah.
I think Hackaday is moving away from the logo that I designed that's still on the site.
Did they
'Cause
include any skull stickers?
I don't think there's any stickers with the skull and the little wrenches.
Okay. I also got a 1Bitsy, which is like a
I don't think they're
ARM
going to...
development board.
I don't think that's going to work out. I think people like the skull and
You think
the
people like
wrenches.
skulls?
Yeah, I mean, there's no replacement yet. I haven't seen
That's
a different
true.
logo.
This isn't really a logo. This
Yeah.
is more of a
It's just saying the words.
display. Okay, and then this is an STM32F415 little breakout board from 1Bit Squared. They have a skull on it. Maybe they should use the skull logo.
Yeah.
More stickers.
I got all sorts of skulls that we haven't used yet.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's in here.
Okay.
A little stencil.
All right. Well, thanks all for putting that
Thank
together.
you.
Yeah.
This is
So-
sweet.
Okay. And speaking of, our learning system,
Yeah.
Adafruit learning system, 1,090 tutorials. Lady Ada, what were the tutorials this week?
Okay, this week we have the Fix It Felix hammer from last week, and then the MicroPython SSD 1306 OLED display guide that goes with Desk of Tony D. I think he did a video about that. We had the How Tall Is It Circuit Playground tutorial, which is a really neat tutorial. It shows how to use your Circuit Playground's microcontroller plus accelerometer to create an inclinometer. So you can measure the incline with a straw, and then you can see how tall something is, which is a cool math project, but
Yeah.
also a useful tool. We have the UFO drone that we'll show the video from Noah and Pedro. We have the second MicroPython hardware project with the PCA 9685, which is used in the Servo Featherwing, PWM Featherwing. We had that John Park Sword and Wand prop guide that you saw the video for. And we have a tutorial for this week's new product, the DRV 8833 DC stepper motor breakout board.
Okay. Check that out at learn.adafruit.com.
So good chunk of new tutorials.
Okay. Breaking news.
Well, I spoiled it.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
I guess this is one of the leaked photos of the new MacBook that's coming out.
Yeah.
And the internet outrage is they don't have an escape key.
So do you think it's like a dynamic?
Yes,
key
that's
press?
that's a magic bar, and
Okay.
it's called a magic bar. And so everyone's freaking out. It's the worst thing that's ever happened in their lives. And so what we did, and this is a Phil B project, we got you covered. So you can use a trinket and make your own physical escape key. You're set. You're done. You don't have to worry about it.
Great.
He's on his way.
What if you want 2 escape keys?
You could make a couple of
What
them.
if you want a right-hand one and a left-hand
Yeah.
one? This
So
is
he's
also for
on
you.
his way to
Cupertino?
an Apple store.
Okay.
And he's going to be installing these all across the country
yeah.
at the Apple stores. He's putting it in just to help people because maybe they just forgot. They were rushing to get these out the door.
You know what else they forgot on those
Uh,
keyboards?
what?
A Windows key.
Oh,
like
Windows
the start
key?
menu key.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's the start menu key? What if you need one of those?
Yeah, and I guess there's no more power plug. It's USB 3. There's
Yeah,
all
the
sorts of things that are
exact-
gone. Anything you liked is gone. Did you like it? Too bad it's gone.
Took it
Yeah.
away.
Okay.
It's true.
So that's a real thing, and we have it on our site. by the
Okay.
way. Okay. All right. Those were breaking news.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah. Here is Made in Europe. We have some videos from. We film stuff around here. This is like a resistor symbol.
It's a, yeah, this is a
Little time lapse.
NPN
Yeah.
transistor. That's a cute little, you can ASCII
Yeah.
art.
And this is Circuit Playground, and then this is the stencil that it uses. And then our team, they made a pumpkin. So I wanted to show that. Okay. That was our Made in New York stuff this week. Okay. Nimbus to friendly cloud entity. We have Adafruit IO, and that's our Internet of Things service for makers, uses MQTT and all that stuff. I saw that who was it that I sent a link to that they have? They're like, oh, we're all about IoT now. It wasn't Avnet. It was someone else.
IBM?
No, there was someone else in there, and they're like, they don't. It didn't seem like they want anyone to use MQTT because they didn't own it. Like, they're just like.
Who was that? I totally remember getting an email and looking at it and being like, oh, but we get like so many.
Yeah, but anyways.
And they just kept saying co-op. They wanted to use co-op. Not
Yeah.
MQTT.
So we have our service. It's for makers. It's free. It's in beta. We do all sorts of little dials and things. So we've been trying to get this idea out there to have it gain traction. This is Internet of Things Bill of Rights. And we recently made an update, and I just want to talk about the very small update that we made. So it's adafruit.com/IOTBOR, Internet of Things Bill of Rights. And the little bit of text that we added was just because last week the whole internet went down. So in addition to, and I'll just read these real quick, and I'll go back to this. We said, open's better than closed. It's consumers, not companies. Internet of Things devices that collect public data should share the data. You have the right to keep your data private. You can delete or back up your data. And then one of the things that we said is, if you're going to do Internet of Things devices or platforms or whatever, maybe make it easier to build systems that can be used for good instead of bad. So the whole internet got taken over by this like Internet of Things devices, like webcams and anything that there was this opening where the firmware had like a easy to guess password, and like that was used as a denial of service attack. It's like called Muriel or something like that. So I guess when you're making that Kickstarter IoT internet connected pet food thing, I think it's one of those things where we should work on making it easy to do good, not easy to do bad. It seems like that's the weird mindset that isn't there. It's really easy to do bad with a lot of these things. It's really hard to do good though with them. So yeah. Anyways, that's what we added.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll keep working on it.
We're working on it. 3D printing. Okay, now on page we're doing a bunch of stuff. We talked about the UFO video, about the show and tell. We talked about that, and now we have that video.
I said it was spooky.
Yeah.
In this project, we'll show you how we added NeoPixels to our drone to make it look like it has a tractor beam. This is a really simple project just in time for Halloween. All you'll need to build this project is an Adafruit trinket and a 24 NeoPixel ring. We designed and 3D printed a custom mount to attach to the landing gear of a DJI Phantom 4. We 3D printed the mount on an Ultimaker 3 using translucent nylon filament. The mount is free to download and can also be modified to fit different multi-rotors. The NeoPixel ring only needs 3 connections, one for power, another for ground, and data. We attached the Adafruit trinket to the mount using machine screws. It's secured to the center and you can easily reprogram it once it's secured. The NeoPixel ring fits nicely into the mount with the wires going through the opening. For the wiring, we use 30 gauge silicone-coated stranded wires because they're both really strong and flexible. Then we connected ground to ground, power to the USB pin, and the data wire to pin number 0. The whole assembly is nicely contained and it's pretty easy to carry around. To install it, we simply press the clips on both ends of the landing gear. The tolerances are nice and tight, but you still have the option to adjust the position by sliding it. We can power the whole circuit using the micro USB port on the side of the Phantom 4. There's just enough clearance for the camera, but we made sure to position it away from the proximity sensors. The NeoPixel lights up immediately after turning the Phantom 4 on, and it actually doesn't affect the flight time, so it doesn't draw that much power. The LED animations are from the NeoPixel library, but you can write your own or customize them in the Arduino Sketch. We hope you like this project, and be sure to check out the links below if you do want to build this. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more projects from Adafruit.
Okay. And then it also have a little time-lapse video that they did.
They're so cute.
Yeah, let's play it. And don't forget, tomorrow is 3D Hangouts, 3D Thursday with Noah and Pedro. That's every Thursday. And we also have a little bit of Pi news. So I saw this today. I'm going to look this up. I don't know too much about this. I do know that we have to make more kernels. So this is the first thing I'm just like, okay. So there's a thing for Linux, and it's called Dirty Cow. And there's a bug in the Linux kernel called Dirty Cow. And as the Raspberry Pi site pointed out, it seems like every bug now has a logo that someone makes for it.
Yeah.
So with Rasby and Jesse, you can just do sudo apt-get update and then install the latest kernel. For our stuff, we're going to run our kernel-o-matic and pop out the new ones.
Yeah, for the PyTFT, which is the one thing we make a kernel for, we'll just make an update so you can grab the latest. I think this just came out. I know it was demonstrated on Android phones, which is handy because people want to root Android phones.
And copy on write is why it came from cow, and it could take over. Yeah, it
so
could take over
some dirty data that you can grab. Or
and it could take over Android phones and Raspberry Pis and any Linuxy thing.
Okay.
So
the only thing is, for Raspberry Pis, most people set it up so the default password is Pi Raspberry, and then you can just sudo. So it's not.
Anyways.
I wouldn't connect your Raspberry Pi to the internet in the first place, but we will update the kernel.
Yeah.
And change your password, of course. So it's not the default.
Always. Okay. Before you hit new products, Lady Ada, Doc Days Code, 10% off in the Adafruit store, all the way up till 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. You know what time it is, right?
What time is it?
Oh, it's that time.
It's time for new.
You timed it with the compressor here that we have.
Okay. It's time for compressor new.
Yeah. So, all right, we got some new products this week.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. All right.
That's always good.
Here you go, power cable.
Yeah, power cable. Actually, we had a couple of these left over from a previous product we sold, and so we're like, well, we'll just toss them in the store. So if you want to pick up some high quality IEC cables, I'm sure you have a bunch of them, but maybe you need some more. We has them. So check it out.
All right, let's keep moving.
This is a pretty handy little device. It is a 2.1 millimeter barrel jack connector that you solder to. We have a version with terminal blocks, but this is nice because you can make a more permanent connection. There's two tabs, one for the center and one for the outer ground. It's 5.5 millimeter outer diameter, 2.1 millimeter inner diameter. It fits like 99.9% of power plugs. So if you're making your own power thingy, this is a pretty handy little bugger to get. So check that out.
I'm always looking to make more permanent connections.
Yeah?
Yeah. So here's a case.
This is the Mod My Pi Raspberry Pi case. And I can show this on the overhead too once we get to the photos. It's a lovely little translucent-y case. It is designed for the Pi Zero. It's it's been around long enough. We're finally getting injection molded cases out. So on the overhead, you got this. So it's got a couple things going for it. It's got this SD card protector, which is a little tough to remove, but once you remove it, you can take this apart. And then if your Pi has these connections on them, the 2x20 terminal, not terminal, IDC connector. You can pop this out. I don't have a tool with me, but there you can just press. Or we actually, you want to try it?
Yeah, what is this?
You just pop it out.
Permanently? Does it
yeah,
come
yeah,
out?
it's fine.
It comes out permanently once you do it? Well, I don't want to do that, because I don't want to do that. I need a little tool.
Yeah, we
do
need a
it
little
right.
tool. Well, whatever, we'll just pretend.
Okay.
Until I can get a screwdriver maybe in a moment. But yeah, you can pop this out, and then this will fit over it. But then just to practice it, yeah, you can just fit things like this, and it snaps in very nicely and securely, and then this would fit on top very nicely as well. So
Okay.
kind of like that, and then you can protect the SD card if you like by snapping this, and you get access to HDMI and the two micro USB connectors, and on this side there's a slot for the camera cable. So
Yeah.
it's a nice accessory for your Raspberry Pi.
Okay. That's cool.
That's the case.
Cool. All right, next up. There's this pack thing.
Yeah, this pack is for, there's actually a couple classrooms that were contacting us.
Like a
and
book pack or something.
It's like a little book pack for like making things blink, or I don't remember
Yeah.
the name of it, but basically it's conductive ink.
Yeah.
Or making like not conductive ink, using the conductive tape.
Yeah.
And then making little.
Which works really
foldable-
good.
Which works really
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
but actually better than conductive.
By
ink.
the way,
Yeah, and it has conductive.
the
glue
idea
in
of
the back.
conductive ink is way better than conductive
reality.
ink. So this tape, this tape, like, trust me.
This is really good,
Yeah.
and you can tape it over the battery because it's conductive. The glue on the conductive tape is also, on the copper tape is conductive.
Yeah.
So you can make, first off, of course, you can make throwaways with this if you want, but you can also make little paper lanterns and projects. So this is for that book, which I can't remember the name of it, but check out the product page.
Yeah.
And you can build up to 10 projects with 2 LEDs apiece.
Okay. Speaking of books, here is a new book we're stocking. It's Practical Electronics for Inventors by Paul Schurz and Simon Monk. How is it possible that Simon Monk writes every book? He writes every book about everything right now. He's
writing a lot of books. This is a
Yeah.
update. This is, I think, edition 3 or edition 4.
Yeah.
We've carried this for
It's
a
really
bit.
popular.
But there's a new version, and we're just carrying it. Check it out.
Yeah. If you're wondering what it covers the following. You
What's it
ready?
cover?
It covers resistors, capacitors, inductors, transformers, diodes, transistors, and integrated circuits, optoelectronic solar cells and photoresistors, sensor, GPS modules, touch sensor, op amps, regulators, power supplies, digital electronics, LCD displays, logic gates, microcontrollers, prototype platforms, combination and sequential programming logic, DC motors, RC servos, stepper motors, microphones, audio amps, and speakers, module electronics, and prototypes.
So kind of everything. It's a great book, and a lot of people love this book.
Yeah.
So we just have an update.
There's some book pages.
And I think they just have some more modern stuff. They probably cover more of the latest
everything.
microcontrollers
Yeah.
and all that good stuff, the latest sensors and components that are available to you.
That's right. Okay, next up, I'm really excited about this. So we worked with Damien, who is the creator of MicroPython, and this is a cute little snake logo. They have a new logo too, but this is a cute one. So we have a MicroPython
This one's the cutest.
sticker, and here's something we're really proud of.
What?
We are supporting Damien, the creator of MicroPython, and his efforts via money.
Money.
And we also
Money's
additionally
good.
will donate $1 every time someone gets a MicroPython sticker. He gets $1
Yeah.
to continue his open source work. Because I'm going to complain just for a second.
Are you going to complain
I'm
about
gonna
something?
complain for a second.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Get
so,
to it.
Here's what I'm going to complain about.
What do you hate?
Well, I'm just gonna say something that I think everybody should consider.
Okay.
So in our description on the product page for the Python sticker,
Yeah.
we say this is how we're supporting Damien. We've already sponsored and sent him a thank you, and then there's more coming for every sticker that comes out. But one of the things that it seems fair is if you call something MicroPython, it should be open source. And what we're starting to see is there's companies that are taking the work that Damien did that's called MicroPython, which is open source, and then deciding to take it away and close it and still call it MicroPython,
Lame.
which is not okay.
Not okay.
It is kind of like calling something Linux,
But it's closed source.
but it's closed source.
Which you can't do because GPL, but if like BSD, like if you made something, if you made your own like Phil BSD and you didn't open source it, people would be like, what the heck?
It is a little odd for anyone that calls something MicroPython, but it's not open source. You can't do as much with
Wait,
it.
but I want to make sure. What about the MicroPython stuff we're working on?
That is open source.
We open sourced it.
Yeah.
Could you go right now and like look at the source code we did?
Yes.
And it's all under an open source license?
Yes.
Whew. So you're not talking about us. That's good.
No.
Good. It's somebody else.
No. And we say this on video about things, and so someone could roll the tape one day, and anything we do with MicroPython is going to be open source.
Of course.
End of story. So I'm just saying, if someone's going to make hardware and say it's MicroPython, maybe also make it open source. Anyways, I'm complaining. And now
That was
I'm
a pretty
done
good rant.
complaining. Yeah. Okay.
But wait,
Cables.
Wait, did you want to show the sticker over
Oh
there?
yeah, we'll show a sticker on the other.
Yeah, because it's such a
Hey,
cute
sticker.
Okay, so first off, this is a gigantic sticker, and
Yeah.
it's adorable. Look at these
Oh,
eyes.
you know what? My laptop
Yeah.
has a billion stickers.
Do you want to put it on your
Well,
laptop?
I'll do that.
Is
Yeah.
it that time?
Yeah. Well, see my laptop here.
Yeah, but what it needs is a snake.
Yeah.
Snack. Where do
Yeah.
you want to put it?
No, I'll find a spot for
We'll
it.
find a spot. Okay. Anyways, these are very great stickers, and
Yeah,
yes,
so-
$1 of every purchase
Yeah.
goes to Damien. So this is a great way if you're doing a MicroPython workshop or you just want to support.
Yeah.
Damien, toss a sticker into your order,
Yeah.
and you'll give him cold hard cash, which will help pay for the core development of MicroPython.
Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to port Python to a tiny microcontroller? It's impossible.
It's not impossible. We've done it. We're porting it to the SMB.
Well, no, what Damien did, like.
Oh, what he did to start? Yes, that's
that was
impossible.
impossible.
That was impossible. It was so impossible that actually he had to bend space and time.
Yeah.
He's a physicist, and so he probably had to go to like the Event Horizon to get even more time than necessary and make,
Yeah.
like slow down time and also expand space
Yeah.
so they could fit MicroPython into a
He worked
small-
on the cosmological constant and the cosmic background radiation analysis. Anyways, here is one of my favorite new products. These are alligator clips with the little breadboard things.
Darn, isn't this the most handy thing in the world? If you are connecting a thing that is not breadboard friendly to a breadboard, this is what you want to use. These are alligator clips that have
Yeah, look at
jumpers
this.
on the back. So
That's what you
for
use it
Circuit
for.
Playground projects, for example, or Flora or Gemma, or even just like everyday, just
Every
weird
project.
stuff you're connecting, like, ITO or, that conductive copper tape and stuff. It's not breadboard friendly, but if you want to connect to a breadboard, this is great stuff. So it's a little alligator clip and a breadboard plug at the end, and it works with every breadboard, every perf board, every solderless, every Arduino. You can even use it to connect something like an Arduino to a sensor that maybe has wires on it or something that isn't very breadboard friendly. So super handy. It comes in a pack of 12. They're not too long. I got them kind of short so that you don't have crazy wires everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a close up to this too.
Yeah, that's a nice connector. Just plug it right in, premium style. And I got those little mini clips, so they're nice and small.
Yeah. Okay. Next up. Boop.
Okay, this is a product we've sold for a while, but we never sold it alone. So this is the Character LCD BacPac. This is a really old product, you can tell, because it's got an 1890 USB 162, which we haven't used in anything else. But we did it back when that was a chip that people used. It was in the Teensy 1.0. And it's got a mini USB connector, but this is a USB serial backpack that you can use with Character LCDs, worked with, you solder on the back of the LCD, and now you have a USB connection. So really handy for just adding a serial, USB serial display onto any, computer. You can use it with like LCD Smarty and other things to create little displays. We can, use it also with RX UART pins. So if you have a microcontroller, you don't want to spend 6 pins to do the bit banging to control your HD 77 whatever chipset LCD. You can just send it commands, and it uses the standard matrix orbital command set. And we also added a couple commands for controlling the RGB backlight, so you can get full color backlight. So now we have this as a separate board for people who have their own LCDs or whatnot. I figured it's a good idea to toss it into the shop. So
okay.
It's an old product, but now it's live.
Star of the show this week beside you is this.
Yay! Finally, we have another new product for this week. This is the DRV 8833. This is a motor driver. What's nice about this motor driver is it has built-in current control. So it's a chopper circuit, and we limit it to 1 amp, but you can adjust the current limiting as necessary. And that's about what this motor driver likes to run, 1 amp, maybe 1.5 amps. And it has 2 H bridges. So you can control 2 DC motors bidirectionally, or 1 stepper motor back and forth however you like, and this is just a demo showing it with an Arduino. But what's nice about this chip is not only does it have the current control, so it's good for when you're driving motors and chips that may have high current draw, and so you want to internally current limit them. This will do that without the risk of damaging the chip. It also is really good for low voltage chips. So this driver runs from 2.7 volts to about 11 volts. And most of the drivers that we've used go from about like 7 or 8 to 15. So for higher voltage devices, 12 volt motors, 9 volt motors, you'll probably want to use like the TB6612 or something. But if you're using a 3 volt motor, and there are a lot of devices that have low voltage motors, like like hobby DC motors are often lower voltages, or if you want to have current limiting, this is a pretty nice stepper DC motor driver.
Yeah.
And I can have a little
You have
demo.
a demo? Okay,
Yeah, I
right.
have a demo. Yeah, sure. So this is just with a Metro, and this is with a stepper motor, just showing it spinning around. I got a little flag, so you can see it spinning. And works with, again, a stepper motor or 2 DC motors, and you use 4 pins to control it, 1 for each side of the H bridge, so it's very manual control. You literally just toggle the pins as necessary, and then you can PWM the pins as well if you want to do micro stepping on a stepper motor, or if you want to use speed control for your DC motor.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And with that, Lady
Lovely.
is
Round, round, round.
the product's over.
Yay!
Okay. We have a special segment this week. I don't know if you knew. It's top secret time. All right. I'll
So
go.
secret.
I have one thing, and then you have one thing.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the first thing in top secret this week is we're gonna start selling welding masks.
Well, we have the welding sticker and badge.
Yeah.
So that makes
No, just
sense.
kidding. Actually, our friend Naomi in Shenzhen, she used a feather, and she got these cool electronic welding screens. And we were actually looking for these for a while, because what it does is when it gets current, it makes it dark or light.
It's exactly
dark or light.
Yeah, like actually it's just like an LCD,
Yeah.
right? You remember you have like a temperature display or like a display on
Yeah.
On like a clock, and the digits turn black or
Yeah.
off, like they turn
So
black.
pink or pink.
So basically, this is the same thing, except it's just one big LCD. It's
Yeah.
like one big digit, and all it does is either turn the whole thing black or the whole thing white.
Yeah.
There's actually a bar that used to take me to.
Yeah, there was a bar that when you go into the restroom, it made it so you couldn't really see in. And then didn't you make media sensitive glasses at MIT?
Yeah, the
that if you
glasses.
saw TV, it would blank it out.
Same idea.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't know if it was welding. No, it wasn't welding glasses. I took shutter glasses. So remember 3D shutter glasses?
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I used, and I basically took those out. But it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Basically, it turns
The idea,
very
same,
opaque.
yeah, whatever the technology is,
Yeah.
but that was the idea. It would turn something off based on media
It
stuff.
basically turns it opaque or
Yeah.
translucent clear.
So what Naomi did that really, angers some and delights others is she made this into clothing that you can, of course, imagine it'll turn on and off. So if you wanted clothing that revealed different parts of you based on your Adafruit feather turning it on and off, this is the project for you, 3D printed, and she also helped us find these screens. So we'll be putting these
Yeah, I'm carrying
screens
these.
in the store.
They're
soon.
really handy.
So,
I see a lot of
yeah.
art projects that use them, and they're
Yeah.
great for. They're actually useful for a lot of different things. I always hear people who are like, "Oh, I want to have a section of
Yeah.
something that's opaque and then not depending on motion or action." So
Yep.
that will be very interesting.
Okay,
to see.
what's your top secret this week?
My top secret is I'm getting some more new products ready, and this is a product that we'll have in the store hopefully soon. And this is a touchscreen feather wing, so you can have your feather plugged into the back, and it's like exactly the same width as a feather, which is kind of nice. And you have an SD card, and then you have a 2.4-inch TFT. And this demo, I didn't get time to load the demo software on it, but you'll be able to load images and do touch displays, and so this could be really handy. And the prototype works with all of the different feathers. So getting back into there's a couple of feather wings that I wanted to get made. I know we did like 50 feather boards, one a week for a year, and I took a little bit of a break from that, but we're
Yeah.
gonna get back in and maybe make another
Okay.
4 or 5 feather wings that people I think would really dig. So
Okay.
it's coming soon.
Get back in the vault, secrets.
Yes.
Okay, let's do a little bit of, please buy something. If you did, that'd be great. Okay, let's do some questions, Lady Ada.
Sure.
post your questions in the chat.
Of course.
Here is some questions that were in. Someone had talked about they want to make a two-way Bluetooth audio. Lady 8, is it possible to make DIY Bluetooth two-way communicator? Motorcycles are way too costly for me. The motorcycle ones are costly.
Dude, it's hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bluetooth Low Energy is not good for audio. And Bluetooth Classic, I don't know any way to do receiver.
Yeah.
You know, with like, I don't think they do receiver. Maybe they can. I don't know. I mean, because you have to have a host. Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen anyone do bidirectional Bluetooth Classic audio, only unidirectional, you know, from a speaker or a headset.
Yeah.
Not headset to headset.
Okay. Someone wanted to know, it's not exactly related, but I can ask. Is there a safe way that you can get power, that you can power a desktop PC with some kind of battery backpack to make it portable like a laptop with almost a 30-minute charge for a PC to run? So how would you run a very power-hungry PC on a battery?
If it's a true PC, I would get an inverter, get a UPS, an off-the-shelf UPS or a UPS driver, and then a lead-acid battery, because those desktops, they're not that energy efficient. It's not like a laptop is a fully different design. And remember also, if you need to have a monitor, you have to figure out how to power that as well.
Yeah.
But a UPS, you know what? They kind of figured this out.
Yeah.
Just get one of those.
Not the UPS, the company. UPS.
Uninterruptible power supply.
Yeah. But although I'm sure UPS has wonderful power solutions.
They will
for-
ship around your
Yeah,
UPS.
they'll ship around batteries. So the next thing is, with the documentation talk at the Fat Cat Labs recorded. No, we weren't recording it. We were doing the talk.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they have it recorded.
Yeah, we mostly showed off Learn, and I just kind of showed off.
Yeah. We did the history of how we've been doing documentation.
Maybe one day we'll do a video cast.
We'll
on it.
probably do an entire video devoted to why document, or best practices. I think the takeaway was, like, don't wait for perfect.
Yeah.
Because the last 10 years, we've been constantly told, oh, well, I really can't document my project. I don't have the right camera. Or like, oh, like I don't want to post it on Wiki. Well, we started with a crappy camera and a Wiki, and that got us to the next level, and now
if you wait for the perfect documentation system, you'll
Yeah.
never get it.
Yeah. And, I like to encourage folks, think about what you can do now and just build on top of that. And then continue to tell the story, which is, for you, documentation for electronics.
Yeah, one person said they document their project using Tumblr, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you keep it backup, just in case Tumblr goes away. But, that's
Yeah, I
not a
guess that's
bad
the thing.
way. I see a lot of people documenting stuff on Imager.
Yeah. Any plans to carry AR, VR stuff? Well, we had these, like, goggles that we have in the
Yeah,
store.
they got discontinued now.
Yeah. I think it's pretty early, and it's really expensive. And so we're probably gonna see what happens with AR and VR.
It's not at the DIY hobbyist level. I mean, we have
Yeah.
the, what's it called? Not the Magic Leap. God, they all have the same name.
Oh, no, the Leap. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The Leap
Motion.
controller, yeah.
We have that, and that's kind of a VR AR tool
Yeah.
because they made it, they have an API for hobbyists.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. What goes into the prep for Ask an Engineer? Well, it's a tool called Wirecast, and it's just a lot of pulling together a lot of things that we do, from our videos, from folks around the world, to our product photos. And so it's not like managing a GitHub repository, but it's a little like it. I guess I'm chef, or whatever it is to compare it. Like I'm moving around all these different parts to put the show together.
And every day it's a little. Some
Yeah.
weeks they change stuff. Like,
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Next up. What are we going for Halloween? We're probably going to go to sleep. Next up. Will we see a Feather audio board?
Yeah, there will be one. It'll not be audio input, it'll be audio output.
Okay. Would you consider or make a NeoPixel Feather wing like the 2945, only even smaller with a larger quality of NeoPixels?
Would they want it to be smaller with even more NeoPixels?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I can make it larger with more NeoPixels, or I can make it smaller with fewer. But I packed them in pretty much as much as I could. So, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a World Series going on. They want to know, I didn't know there was a World Series.
Cubs.
Okay. Is it possible to connect Adafruit BN055 with modern robotics core device interface?
Ooh, I don't know what the modern robotics device interface, but if you can read UART, you can get the data from the BNO over the UART, or you can get it via clock stretched I2C.
Okay. Let's see. I think I got to most of them. I think we're in lots of the chats here. Okay. Good work, Lady Ada.
You got him?
Yeah.
Sweet.
You got them all.
Yay.
Oh, core memory featherwing. Someone wants to know.
Yes.
Okay.
You'll wind it yourself using magnet wire.
Okay. Digital MEMS I2S microphone breakout.
We don't have one now.
Okay. Will there be a new featherwing LCD fit on the doubler?
You can use the doubler with it, right? But there's only space on the LCD for like one feather.
Okay.
So if you could put the doubler, and then you can always stack all of these boards and manipulate them, but you'll have to have the headers and stacking headers and maybe trim them and all that stuff. But you can do it.
Can the Adafruit soundboard be activated via pins, like play different sounds if power is set to one of the pins, or play a different one if power is set to another?
Well, sound effects board, you can have up to 11 sets of samples, and then whichever pin is grounded is what sets it. So you can have different sounds on different pins.
Okay. We're going to make MicroPython modules for most of our products? Yeah, probably.
For a bunch,
Yeah.
for some of the top ones. We've already done like OLED and the servo breakout, and we'll probably do all the feather wings. Maybe not every single one of the 250 Arduino libraries what we've written, but we'll get to like the most important ones, of course, like NeoPixels and
Yeah.
the BMP280 and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Let's give away something. What do you want to give away this week?
We're going to give away a DRV 8833 motor driver because it's the new product.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that what you think?
Yeah. I think it's more useful than a power cable.
Okay. What are the rules?
Rules are, if you've won before in this trivia contest, you can't win again. Only one winner per my lifetime. The first person to answer the question that Phil is asking in any of the chats that he sees first will win the prize, which is a DRV 8833 breakout board, which is great for driving motors and steppers. So if you're into robotics, this is a great time to enter the contest.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes. I'm ready, but I can't enter.
This is going to be a race.
Yes.
You ready? Go to our Cats of Engineering page, and what's the name of the first cat on the page? That's the most recent one. Not the one all the way down to the bottom. It's the one at the top.
The top.
What is the name of the cat on Cats of Engineering? There's hundreds of cats on
I
here.
know, but I want to see what the name of. Whoa, that is a lot of cats.
There's a lot of cats.
Okay, but I want to see the name of this cat so I can
You want to see
see.
the name of the cat?
Yeah. Oh, these are cute cats.
Yeah, right here.
Okay, that's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, first
name.
person to post the name of the cat. It's not Zener. It's not Geordie LaForge. Let's see if someone got it. Not Amelia Earhart. Not MOSFET. Not 1916.
MOSFET's my cat.
No, that's our cat. Not Top Cat. Top Cat be funny. Kitty. Nope. Trinket. Nope.
Trinket's a good name.
Okay. Congratulations, Andrew Dennyho. It is Cooper Wallyho. Congratulations, Andrew. Andrew, email support@adafruit.com and tell them you won the prize. What's the prize?
The prize is PAD 3297.
Bink. You won. So email them and they will send you your prize. Okay. Well, thanks for everyone. That's show tonight. That's it. That's what we do.
We're going to go home and hug our cat.
Yeah, we're going to try that. Okay. So thanks everyone. We're here every week, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you all the folks out there that we work with, Adafruit, all the folks here who help this thing, and especially thank y'all. We still haven't got a loan or venture capital, and that means that we can do stuff like this. We'd immediately be told we can't do stuff like this.
No.
And
It'd be like, why aren't you maximizing shareholder value?
Why aren't you at our private TED-like event talking about the future? So please buy something and use the discount code on checkout, because that'll keep this thing going.
It will.
And we'll see everybody next week. There's a picture of said cat, And
That's not Cooper Julio, that's
no,
Mom's cat.
that's our cat.
Yeah,
and
our cat.
here's your moment of Zener. Later, folks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.